It is my absolute pleasure to be joined today by author Jason Mahoney. He is the author of the newly released book, Mystery of a Dromedary. And Jason, tell us about this book.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. So this book is what I like to tell people is that it honors Mary Shelley's book Frankenstein, and then it also takes place in the modern day American South. So I tell people it's a Southern Gothic magic realism, just a plain old fiction story. And then you don't actually have to have read or know what Frankenstein is about. There are quotes that are kind of placed throughout the story that will inform readers of what the parallels are between my story and Mary Shelley's. And so in Frankenstein, the book, the monster threatens the doctor, his creator, he's going to show up on his wedding night and ruin his life unless the doctor makes the monster a partner, a female counterpart, because he feels lonely and the world mistreats him. So similar things will happen in this book, and the main character, Vernon, he finds out through this tortured soul that he is going to be killed on his first anniversary. So he has a year left to live. And because the monster is it's a supernatural situation, Vernon can't tell anyone about his dilemma. So he kind of has to navigate his last year with the dread of knowing the day of his death, but unable to tell anyone about it. And no one would believe him if he told them. He's not sick. He doesn't have like a doctor's note. His enemy is supernatural. He can't go after him. So some of that is the mystery that is alluded to in the title.
Okay, this is fascinating. So I love mystery books like that. So this sounds incredible. So what was the inspiration? I know you talked about it a little bit
Mhm.
already, but what was the main inspiration for writing this book?
Right. So I actually taught in Arkansas for 3 years with Teach for America, which is how I met my wife. We started dating when I was in my third year, and we were long distance. So she had done her 2 years and then actually went to teach in Korea. Um, and so we communicated by email mostly. And she sent me an email once that said, if you had a year left to live, what would you do? So we actually would ask each other questions we found on a New York Times article, and this was one of them. And so I started typing. Well, I tell my friends and family how much I love them and how much they meant to me. I would maybe donate to charities and travel. And I thought, well, what would I tell them if I had a year left to live? Would I tell them I have a year left to live? I don't know why I have a year left to live. I just know I have a year left to live. And this kind of my imagination took hold, and I thought, what if this was the plot to a story where a person knew he had a year left to live but couldn't tell anyone? So maybe he would write notes saying, hey, in case you wondered why I did this on this date, it's because I knew I had a year left to live, but I couldn't tell you at the time. So notes for people to find, after he had already passed, and they were wondering, man, he kind of acted strange in the past year. I wonder what was going on. Oh, and he left us some breadcrumbs to follow. So that explains it. So that was the inspiration. A couple years later, I had written chapter one multiple times. I was never happy with anything I'd written until the beginning of the pandemic, when I finally had some time to sit and think about what was going to happen and how I was going to tell this story, and that's when I started writing for real.
That's incredible. And now you've got me thinking about what would I do? Would I tell people if if I had a year left? It's fascinating. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us today about you, your book, or the message behind the book?
So there is a bit of satire. So because it is set in the American South and I've lived there, there is a little bit of satire and some critique, some feedback about the culture of the region. I also want to make sure that readers know that it does not come from a place of scorn or contempt. When I poke fun at some of the dysfunction of the culture there. It comes from a place of having lived through it, perhaps providing feedback and the desire to see society and the country and the world improve, especially in regards to education, and just society as a whole, the desire to improve. So some of the feedback and satire you might see, it does come from a place of lived experience, but also a place of love and the desire to give my honest feedback.
That's incredible. And it sounds
Yeah.
like such a fun book. I think everyone would enjoy this book. And so
Mhm.
we want to let everyone know where they can purchase it. They can purchase it online and everywhere books are sold, on Amazon, on Reader House, online at Barnes and Noble, and Apple Books, anywhere online books are sold. And so we want to make sure everyone picks up this fun book. It sounds like it might even be fun right before Halloween too, like just something a little different. So I would be a fun book to read for that time. So, or any time,
Absolutely.
but especially that time. So we recommend everyone pick up this fun book today. And Jason, thank you so much for talking to me today, and
Of course.
have a wonderful day. And I look forward to seeing more books coming from you.
All right. I'm hoping to get another one published in the next year or two, so be on the lookout for that. So thank
Okay,
you.
fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, thank you.